Hi, I'm Kayla. Today we're going to be talking about retainers. What is a retainer? Well, do you work somewhere where you're not allowed to have body jewelry? Maybe just earlobe, a button, nothing above. Or maybe you're going to a doctor and they don't want you to wear any metal. Maybe you're going in for a scan or something like that. Well, that's where retainers come in handy. Retainers are usually made out of PTFE. PTFE is something that a lot of piercers carry, either that or BioFlex. Retainers are made for people who have work, but they're not allowed at their work to wear jewelry, or like visible jewelry. So retainers are something that can hide this jewelry. Usually they're clear or white. Some are even flesh tone. I said earlier that it's PTFE or BioFlex, but they can also be made of silicone or glass. You can get retainers in glass as well. The area that I work in is really close to Disneyland, and a lot of their employees are unable to wear jewelry, but we pierce a lot of them. There's a lot of employees there. Everybody knows that Mickey Mouse doesn't like piercings. So we could pierce with a retainer. Some piercers pierce with retainers. You can get your initial piercing jewelry as a retainer or something that's easily hidden, but a lot of retainers don't allow for initial swelling and irritation. So I would probably recommend, if somebody came in, I would recommend them start out with steel or double check with their work before they got a piercing. If they're going in for a scan or doctor's appointment or anything, just get the piercing afterwards, just to be safe. You don't want to be thinking about worrying about having, like, you just got a piercing, you paid for it, and you're going into your doctor's appointment and you don't want them to tell you that you can't wear it. So just wait until after. It'll save a lot of stress and money and worry. This is where I throw in the clips, I guess. Let me set me up. Okay, so first we're going to talk about glass. As you can see, I have a few different styles here. Glass isn't really that common of a retainer outside of plugs for earlobes, but we do have, this is a septum retainer, and that can come in a couple different sizes as far as gauge. If you have a stretched septum, usually it is a 16 gauge or 14 gauge. And then these two right here on the left are, whoa, these two are nostril retainers. So this one, this little straight one, is a nose bone, and then this one with the curve is a L bend because it looks like an L. So because these are glass, they will break. They are not flexible. You have to be really careful with them, and they are very transparent. Here you can see them almost glowing behind a white background. Let's see what it looks like with another background. I found an old shirt. So this is what they look like with this cool orangey background. They're very transparent, so if you drop this on your floor when you're trying to get it in, it will be gone forever. Good luck finding that, which is the case for a lot of these retainers. This is the glass. Next up, we have some really old school style retainers. When I first started piercing, these are the retainers I had, the only retainers I could find. They are two pieces. These rings are made of silicone, and they are called O-rings. They are what keep the jewelry on. These retainers are made of BioFlex materials, which are highly flexible. Whoa! So here's this little barbell, and you can bend it. Wow, I don't know if you can see that. You can bend it, it's pretty flexible. There we go. So they fit pretty comfortably in your piercing. And this one can be used as a tongue retainer or even in the belly button because it is flexible. These ones would be used for like an eyebrow piercing or rook piercing, something like that needs a curved barbell. But because the O-rings are so small, here's a quarter for size. Kind of dominates these pieces. If you drop, especially this little one here, if you drop any of these pieces, they'll get sucked into a black hole and you'll never find them again. Alright, so that's it for BioFlex with an O-ring. I forgot to mention the little notch that these have on here that hold the O-ring on. A lot of them have this little notch made into the jewelry just so that the O-ring can sit there. But if it does get snagged, this is going to come right off. It's not very secure. I mean, it's as secure as it can be, but they're not very practical, unfortunately. Here are two other styles in BioFlex. These styles are a little bit new age for piercing. This one here is a nostril screw. And then this one over here is a labret. This one is interesting because it's two pieces and it is threadless. It just pulls right off. These little ridges here on the top keep it in to the post. So if it does get tugged or anything while you're wearing it, it is very secure. And this one is just one piece, and it is BioFlex. It's very, whoa, it's very flexible. You can kind of squish it, and it bends. So these ones will fit very comfortably in a piercing when you are not using a metal material. These two labret styles are very similar to the one I just showed you. These are also threadless. This is a 14 gauge with a metal top. I don't know if you can see the ridges a little bit better with this one. Let me try and bring this closer. But there are also ridges in the side of here that hold it into the post a little bit easier. You can see there's a hole there. And these are pretty cool because you can wear, especially in the lip, limit the damage. Then BioFlex is really comfortable against the teeth. I currently wear BioFlex posts with little black balls on the end, but these ones have a little diamond, so if you wanted something fancier, you can find those as well. And this one also pulls off. There we go. What is cool about these type of BioFlex studs is that, I don't know if you can see here, but the hollow part of the jewelry goes pretty far down. The stud. It's about here. It's hollow all the way from the top to here. If you're wearing this in like an ear piercing or something and you just need a smaller wearable size, you can cut this with scissors to make it a little bit shorter, just snipping off the end. And because it's threadless, you just push it right into this hollow tip. These last retainers here may be the most common to find. They are BioFlex post with acrylic ball. Beside this one here is an acrylic post with an acrylic ball. But these two are more common in retainers. What is cool about having a acrylic ball instead of a steel ball is that, especially in the tongue, if the ball is bitten on, it will break. Unlike if you have a steel ball and you bite down on that, the steel ball is not going to break. Your teeth will. So a lot of people who have their tongue pierced, they rather have something like this, which this could be comfortable in a tongue piercing, a flat part on the bottom underneath the tongue and a clear ball on the top. These ones can be more comfortable in the lip because they're not as rigid as acrylic would be. With full acrylic, it does not bend. It's very stiff. If you do bend it, it will break. This one, on the other hand, is a little more comfortable because you can bend it. There we go. Oops. And it still keeps its shape. I'm going to go ahead and compare a few different types of retainers so that you can see them side by side. First off, we're going to do glass and acrylic. With the glass, you don't really have any separate parts, but with the acrylic, you have this BioFlex post with the acrylic ball, so you can still see the threads through it. When you're wearing it, it is pretty transparent, but you can still kind of see that white area where the threads are. With the glass, on the other hand, you don't see that at all. It's pretty much entirely transparent. You might get a little bit of light reflection, like right here, but when it's up against the skin, it is very clear, and you can kind of tell from this angle here. I'm also going to be comparing this acrylic ball, which I just showed you, to this threadless BioFlex end. I personally prefer the BioFlex end. It is much smaller, but both are pretty visible. Usually they look like a mole on the face. Neither of them reflect light as much as the glass might, but you can see that here. Next, we're going to compare this BioFlex end and a diamond end. If we'll focus, where's the focusing? There we are. They're both pretty much the same size. Obviously the steel one or clear gem is going to reflect more light. And the BioFlex end, when it's up against skin, it will look like a mole. And I think the last thing I'm going to compare is the two different types of nose studs. I have the nose bone right here and the nose screw. You can see here that the glass is more transparent than the BioFlex. It's a little bit more white. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Sorry I look totally different. I forgot to record my closing last night. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment down below. If you have any questions, I will definitely be happy to answer them. Bye!